We were 99% dependent on fossil fuels imported from outside. We had almost zero renewables. Totally dependent on imported oil from the Middle East. We had 2 oil crises, and we had no oil. There was a political conflict, there was a boycott, and it turned out so bad that people could even not drive their private cars on Sundays. It's unimaginable in the United States, but that was how bad it became. So you could say at that time people had a wake-up call. We must do things differently. Focus on energy efficiency, minimize our energy consumption, expand in the field of renewables, so that today 17% of our total energy consumption stem from renewables, 30% of our electricity. That was sort of the original thing. We had the first Ministry of the Environment in the world, established early 70s. And we thought that we should take care of environmental problems, and we should take care of energy and reduce the use of resources. And often that was done with a relatively broad majority in Parliament. For instance, we never had a Green Party in Denmark.
Right.
Normally, and if you ask some of the leftist politicians, they would say, but this is our case.
Yes.
And that's of course also why it irritates them that now it's not their case alone anymore, but now we have this broad agreement on our energy policy. All seats except 4 in Parliament is behind the 3-year-long energy agreement. But then I would also say it's at the core of conservatism to take care of the environment, to protect nature, to use resources responsible. I can think of nothing that is more conservative than that. And that is a more ideological point of view, a philosophical point of view. And then the third reason is that I've been working with this for 5 years now as a minister. And I have tried to turn this into a growth agenda. It is not an anti-growth agenda. Often back in the 70s, for the left, for the socialists and the liberals, it was sort of an anti-stop growth agenda. I mean, in a world where we're going to become 9 billion people on planet Earth at the middle of this century, we must have growth. So the challenge is to make this growth more green and make it sustainable. And I think that if you visit today the Confederation of Danish Industries, 5 years back, they saw this about climate as something harming their growth. Today they see it differently. Why? Because we've addressed this for 30 years. We have created a long list of industrial strongholds in this field. And it can be proven in facts and figures that we had created thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs in this sector. Actually, last year, the Danish export of energy efficient technologies grew by 19%. In that partly a crisis year 2008, it grew by 19%. It has tripled over the recent 10 years. And if you go and see where we have some of those strongholds, be it pumps, thermostats, wind, biomass, subcontractors, insulation, they will often be located in rural areas, in very far from here, in Jutland. Vestas, world famous for wind turbines, they are located at the most distant place in Denmark, at the North Sea. In areas where in the 70s and the 80s they were very strong in textile, but textile industry was outsourced. And today the clean tech biz has grown strong there. So people see the purpose, more philosophical. Of course, we must sort of be careful how we spend resources. And they also see that it creates job, revenues, exports, income. So there are many reasons why there is sort of a broad consensus politically and in our civil society that this is a very important agenda.